So here's kind of a sneak preview as to where we're headed. Here is a project where I have put in all my pencil lines, I've worked with my name, and I've started sharpieing some things, and I'm also working on building in the patterns in the background. So it's kind of fun to see where you're going with this, but just to show you how you would actually start this, if you read through the slides, I gave you some ideas about different kinds of lines. So there's straight, and you could make your straight lines thick or thin. There's curvy, there's zigzag. You could even do like a curly Q line. You could do a diagonal line. You can make broken lines. So you have lots of options. So the way my brain works, I like to start by just adding a couple of straight lines just to get a couple of basic lines, breaking up my space. Because essentially that's what we're doing, is we just want to break up all this white space with some fun lines. My ruler's not quite long enough, so I'm gonna have to kind of move it down to finish that line there. So there I've got kind of a diagonal line. It's straight. And I like to start intersecting my lines right off the bat too, because that's what is going to make this look really interesting in the end, is having some spots where lines are intersecting and crisscrossing through one another. So there's a couple of straight ones. And maybe I'll do a straight line that runs parallel with the edge of the paper. So maybe something like that. And maybe I'll scoot my ruler over and go ahead and make a line right next to it. And that gives me a double line. Now I know that these lines are a bit hard to see, and that's actually a good thing. That means I'm doing my job correctly, because you want to draw lightly, especially in these beginning stages, because you might want to make some changes. I almost guarantee that you will, because most artists as they're working like to edit and make changes, so always draw lightly. Now I'm going to try some different things. Let's see, I might go for a wavy line. And so I'm gonna have to freehand that. So I'm just gonna work slowly and carefully, and I'm gonna have that just run right into the line that's already there. I wanna always be thinking about how to best to balance out my composition, which means I want something interesting going on in all parts of my paper. I don't wanna just crowd all of the interesting things on one end and then leave this side looking empty or boring. So I need to keep that in mind. So I think I'll do another curvy line, but this time I might make the curves, the waves maybe a little bit smaller, so I can vary it a little bit so it's different than the other wavy line. All right, I want a nice variety, so I have straight, I have wavy. To get some more variety, I think I'll change to a different type of line. This might be a good time to go for maybe a zigzag. Zigzags are fun. If you need to, you can use your ruler to make your zigzag lines. That can only help your craftsmanship. So I think I'll go ahead and demonstrate using a ruler, even though I could probably freehand it if I wanted to. I think craftsmanship wise, a ruler's the way to go. So I'm just kind of stair-stepping this down. And I'm making my zigzag line kind of irregular, meaning not all of the lines are the same length. I think I'll go for another zigzag. Let's see, where would a zigzag line look good? Might do just another one kind of right in this corner. This time I'll freehand it, just to show you how you can freehand some of the smaller areas. Let's see. I think I'll put in maybe a curly Q line. This kind of line takes some practice, so you might want to get out your sketchbook and practice this type of line, but it's basically just these loops like that. So let me count and see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 basic lines. That's pretty good. I would say you want to start with about 6 or 8 basic lines. This is a pretty large area. I feel like I kind of want to break that up with maybe one more line. So I might just go for another straight one. And let's see, where could a straight line look good? Maybe something like that. I kind of like the way, I like the direction of these lines, how they're kind of leading towards one another. That helps kind of frame out the space a little bit. And let's see, I think I'll make this little section right here a double line. I could make it the same size as I did this one, but it might be fun to kind of vary it a little bit. So I'm gonna make it a little bit wider, like that. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that as far as a start for my line design. So I would stop there. And the next step would be to start thinking about your name and coming up with ideas, and we're gonna end up adding our name to one of our sections here.